Hey folks, Brad
and Chris
here out in the mountains of Vermont. It is already halfway through the day and we've visited, we were just talking about this, four sites before right now, and we've come up short on all of them. Not much. Some bullets, shotgun shells, nothing too interesting. And this is a big piece of private property, and we know that there is one more cellar out here. One more old stone foundation where somebody lived a long time ago. And we had some kind of interesting backstories on the people that lived at these other sites, but this one that we're hiking to, it's a mystery. Who lived there, what they did. Hopefully we'll find something there, and that those things will be able to tell us the story of who this person was. We've already walked hours today.
Yeah.
So we're actually walking down the mountain right now to this last and final cellar on this property, following the stone wall, and when we get there, hopefully we'll find something good. All right, here we are. We're at foundation number 5 for the day, the last one that's on this property. It's already been a long day. So we're gonna get our machines out and see what we can find here. All right, well, I've got my first find here, and as we had mentioned, not really sure who this person was, really when they lived here. And for the first find, we've got a real mystery here. This appears to be a spoon, purposefully sharpened almost, and there's a hole with a nail through this other end. I have no idea. I've never seen anything like this before. This is a real weird artifact. Did they make this into, I mean, there's a nail in it, right? So did they must have nailed it to something. Was this on like the end of a stick? I have no idea. One of the weirdest things I've ever seen. Maybe, you know, more things we find will shed some more light, but so far this does not help.
Hey!
You said it was almost a surface find?
Yeah, I just put my pinpointer there and just stuck my hand in and it was right there.
So, you know, it's a good example of being at the base of a tree. Those roots pushed it right up.
Yep.
It's very cool suspender, very intact. Wasn't sure how old the stuff was going to be here, but, you know, that's probably 1870s, I would guess. It's very cool.
Nice.
Good
find.
Sick of digging shotgun shells?
Yes.
Well, I got a very faint target. Honestly, I thought it was going to be a piece of iron. I thought that it was just falsing on iron, but dropped it back down in. It appears we have a coin, and I did rub it a little bit already because I thought it was going to be a button. Found several buttons already. Yeah, it's an Indian head. Okay, I see it now. Didn't recognize it there for a second. Let me rub it off a little bit on my pants. We lost a little bit up in this top corner. It's pretty brittle, but I believe that's 1864, which, you know, we weren't really sure what the age of this place was going to be. Now we have a better idea. Post 1864, judging by the, you know, the suspender clip that Chris found earlier, I figured it was the later half of the 1800s, so this makes sense. Very good. Hopefully we find some more. Well, it's about halfway through the day. You know, we're wandering around, and I spotted something. I had never seen anything like this before, but actually my wife and I were just talking about these like less than a month ago.
Oh yeah.
Check this out. This, I'm pretty sure, is what's called a lady slipper. It's a flower, obviously. And it's so interesting. It's like there's no others here. It's just the one kind of just out here in the middle of the woods. It's just this beautiful, it almost looks like an orchid.
That's what I thought it was.
Yeah. But that's the first I've ever seen out here in the wild. Really interesting looking. You know, sometimes at these old home sites we come across old flower beds of, like, you know, tulips or whatever. That's not what that is. That's a wild plant, but I was surprised when I saw it. So cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
All right, let's keep going. Well, I just found a huge piece of crotobell, like a baseball size, and I actually found another fragment of one of these like not that long ago, a couple weeks ago. But this is a much bigger piece. You can see here there's an N. Sometimes it's like says like number 2 or 3, which would designate the size, but this one just has an N. It looks like the spot where it would have had a loop to connect is gone. This thing is in pretty rough shape, but still, look at the size of that crotobell, jingle bell. This thing would have been loud. The composition of these, it's a brass, but it's a very, very brittle brass. And the harder the substance, the louder the noise is going to be, the louder the bell would be. So this was very, very brittle. Easily breakable, but would have been very, very loud. Very cool. Maybe one day we'll get a whole one of these. I heard Chris cheering over here.
Ding, 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 ding.
Nice. Complete jingle bell. And yeah, you get all that mud out of there, it'll ring like the day it was made. Check this out. Good for you, buddy.
It's my first favorite find. And then look at that spoon.
Oh yeah. Wow. It's super shiny.
Yeah. Silver plated possibly. Sucks today. Oh wow. Complete set!
Oh, we gotta find a knife.
Yes.
Nice job on that bell, buddy. That's a beauty.
I'm so excited right now.
You ready to go home?
Yeah.
Alright, well I found another spoon, and I'm going to make this quick because I know spoons are not the most interesting thing in the world, but this one, holy smokes. It's just silver plated, but I don't know if you can see the back of this. See that? It's a whole bunch of wheat. And the front, you see that? It's a bunch of more wheat. This thing would have been absolutely beautiful when it was new. Like I mentioned, it's just silver plated, and it is kind of actively still decomposing and chipping off, but at least we were able to see that one last time. Really, really cool. Alright, I'll throw in the bag with the fork. See what else we can find here. You've got to be kidding me. Chris just found another bell. Wow, that is amazing.
You think that's the
clapper?
It's stuck on there.
It might be.
I didn't even really dig down. It was just like right there.
That is awesome. That's got to be the find of the day right there. That is just an enormous Conestoga bell. You know, we were discussing what we thought this place might be, since now that we've been here for a while. And I think the place that we're standing in right now was probably a carriage house. Conestoga bell, makes sense. Would have gone on a Conestoga wagon.
Yep.
Wow, that's an awesome find, Chris.
Yeah, it is.
We're going to spend as much time in here as we can. The day is winding down.
Yep.
Unfortunately, just as things start to get exciting, it's always, always how it happens, but good for you, buddy.
Woo!
Wind's picking up. I just found another bell. Bells galore today. This one is in immaculate shape. This thing is crazy. when I first pulled it out, I saw that red, and I thought that it was something modern. Oh, look at that! There's actually charcoal in here. So I can dig this out here. Yeah, we're not going to be able to get this to ring right now because it's just full of what was probably the clapper at one time, but that's certainly what that is. Super cool old bell. This thing has an incredible patina on there. Bells, bells, bells. I heard Chris hooting and hollering again. Another bell?
Boy.
Nice.
Do you see anything in that?
Yep, I can see. You can see he's an Indian facing left right there. The date's down at the bottom.
Man, that's so hard to see.
If you just rub it on your pants.
The date's right there, huh?
Mm-hmm. All right, you can just see with the right light, it's 1884 Indian head penny. You excited? That's your first Indian head penny, right?
Yeah, it is.
It's a nice old one.
Yeah, I see it now, 1884.
Good for you, buddy.
Nice.
Just wait till you find a piece of silver. Maybe today, we'll see.
Yeah, let's keep going.
All right, well, we got a mystery item here. It is completely iron, and it is, corroded enough where it's got nodules all over it, which I would, knock a couple of them off here. I'm wondering if this is horse tack related. It almost looks like, we've got a ring here. Maybe straps could come through here and go in opposite directions. I don't know, I've never seen anything quite like this, but it's such an interesting shape. I'll probably spend the time to clean this up. Really pretty interesting. Not sure. Very, very cool. Let me know what you think. All right, well, we had just both said one more hole, and I found an oil lamp piece, and Chris just yelled over,
Another bell.
"You've got to be kidding me."
Another bell, and only a few feet from the big one I found earlier.
That's incredible.
Just didn't come up here yet.
We were hypothesizing it. Maybe this was the stable or the carriage house. Bunch of bells down there. It would make sense. So cool. All right. Well, I think maybe on that note, we got an oil lamp spinner too. Maybe it went to mine.
I think it did.
Slow morning, but they turned around.
Yeah, it did. Definitely.
Let's get everything out. See what we found. All right, my best attempt to fit everything in here. It was a pretty great day. Starting from over here, Chris found this pretty late in the day, and we don't know what the heck it is. Solid iron. It has like pins down here at the bottom. Maybe I would guess part of a stove. Not quite sure. Our crazy spear tip. Don't really know. And I actually did find another really pretty spoon handle, very similar to the wheat, but this one is a flower. I got a bridle rosette. Makes sense with the rest of this stuff. I think that this is probably horse tack. I think maybe straps came through here and this was a ring of some kind. Horse people, let me know if you recognize that thing. We did get 2 Indian head pennies, which has been the theme for like the last month and a half. 2 Indian head pennies basically every trip out. But today I got one that was 1864 and Chris got one 1884. Just said 100 years before he was born. It's pretty awesome. And then Chris's little suspender. And then our pile of bells over here. Let me get a close-up. All right, look at this pile of bells. Chris found this massive Conestoga bell, and then right next to it, a smaller version of the same style. I have this giant Crotal bell, and then Chris found an intact, smaller version. Again, get that dirt out, that thing will ring. And you could probably put new clappers in these, and those will also ring. And then I found this interesting looking bell. I'm not sure I've ever seen one quite like that, but I believe that those were all strung up on a board going, this way, multiple, and then they would do this on the tops of the wagons, similar to the way these did. That's my guess. People always see these and assume they're like hotel desk bells, but that's not what the inside of one of those would look like. So I think that went on a wagon, more than likely. And then I got a few other things here which I don't even have out. I found a few buttons, I found a toe tap, a lot of the same stuff we find at sites of this age. This is a squeeze box reed from like a small accordion or something. And a bunch of buttons and a lot of oil lamp parts.
Yeah.
So it's the end of the day. Now we have to hike out probably about 45 minutes to an hour of just walking, which should be fun. We showed up to this last cellar towards the end of the day, and we were talking about what this place might be because we had good information on the other places, but this one was a bit of a mystery. And clearly they had a carriage house or a stable of some kind, and maybe the holster, the person that cared for the horses, lived here, worked the stables, the community had their horses cared for here. Who knows? The stuff that we found makes sense. Pretty cool. Well, thank you again for watching. Next week we'll be up here again in the mountains of Vermont. Thanks again.
Thanks.
See you next time.